The People's Fridge is a 900-pound fridge that sits on the city block on 52nd Street between Larchwood and Pine. The People's Fridge holds fresh groceries and produce and other resources for our community, and it has been feeding people for the last year and a half. I really started my work in mutual aid in the beginning of 2020 when there was a lot of protests and there was a lot of need for food and support in our community. And so we decided to start a fridge. Food is like the basic connections between all human beings, you know, like we don't all speak the same language and we definitely do not derive from the same place, but the action of feeding others, it's almost like the one language that we all speak. The whole idea behind the fridge, it's to create abundance in the neighborhood. It's to fight that scarcity feeling. And by no means does the fridge combat all of scarcity for everybody. But many times I see people look into the fridge and reach into something and walk away with like a warm smile on their face because they have an option. We have neighborhood elders that tell me stories about the fridge, who have reunited with old classroom friends in front of the fridge. That is what creates the fridge. Maybe my sister and I just put it on the sidewalk, but by no means is this project mine. This fridge does belong to the community. It's gonna be here for long after I'm here. It's not that you're just feeding people, you're creating the solidarity. You're creating a team of people, you're creating a community, and you're creating this mutual responsibility that we will take care of you even if I don't know you. It's just as simple as that.
I was a youth that struggled, and it wasn't academically I struggled with life. After you get to the point where there is nowhere else to go, you have no one else to, do this for you. Get up and you learn it. You have to fight. And you can't just fight for just your power. You can't fight for just your child's power. You have to fight for everybody else behind you because you never want no other child or no other human to feel what you felt. When I see a child that I actually was with when they were in kindergarten and now graduating, and they're calling me and going, I did it. That makes you feel good. When you get those inboxes from parents that says, thank you for speaking up because I was scared too. It makes you want to keep going. But when you see the injustice in the streets and you watch poor, black and brown, queer, trans, everybody going through, it makes you get up and fight because we ain't got nothing else to do but to fight. It is the fiber and it's the fabric of who we are and what I am. Without community here, I would not have been here. It took community to take care of me in order for me to grow through my trauma. There had to be somebody else there to pull me through and pull me up. There had to be someone else to offer mutual aid in order for us to survive. I envisioned schools to be truly real schools and not a pipeline to prison. I envision them having de-escalation rooms where children are actually being nurtured in them. I envision people being able to see the person or someone that they look up to teaching them. What I see for this future is hope.
My name is Reverend Michelle Ann Simmons, and I am the founder and executive director of Why Not Prosper, a program for formerly incarcerated women where we support them to transition from prison back into the community. It's really important for me to advocate for formerly incarcerated women because I'm a formerly incarcerated woman. I started Why Not Prosper because I knew firsthand the barriers that women face as they try to re-enter society. I want the people coming behind me, the women coming behind me, to know that they're important too and they matter. To receive this award from Bread and Roses is transformative, right? I love Bread and Roses and I thank them for supporting the community at large and for giving me the title Trailblazer, right? My vision for the future is to be able to have our communities on one accord. My vision for the future is to be able to have our women and any formerly incarcerated person get the same opportunities as everybody else, no matter the color of their skin, their race, their gender identity, or any of that. That's my vision, to stay on the front lines and keep working until change come forth in totality.
I grew up in South Philadelphia with my mom and dad, and there were 6 children. And my mom actually cut her organizing teeth working in the schools that we attended. And that was her start in terms of community activism. So I grew up in this activism home. I grew up with an activist mom that worked from the schools, also ended up in the community. A driver for me is really anger, to be honest. I'm receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award, and you don't get that unless you're old. So I'm old. And I am pretty amazed and concerned about where we are in this time, I could not have imagined this. I do this work because to do anything less just isn't acceptable. I mean, I just think that there is extraordinary power in individuals, and then those individuals coming together and finding each other and working together. We, as a community, value schools and know that schools are critical to our well-being. But if that's the case, then we have to demand and support them. I think that's what mutual care is. I think it is coming together, having relationships with others, finding out what's important to others, and building on that together. I am particularly pleased to receive the Paul Robeson Award. When my kids were little, we used to walk by his home and I'd say, girls, you know, this is where Paul Robeson lives. And Paul Robeson was labeled a subversive, and I would say I am so proud to receive an award in the name of someone who's labeled a subversive.
Philly Thrive was founded in 2015 by a group of recent college grads. They went and basically did a listening tour, knocking hundreds of doors in South Philly specifically. Since the beginning, since 2015, we've been contesting for our shared right to breathe and for environmental justice in Philly, the poorest big city in America, and until our victory, also home to the East Coast's largest and oldest oil refinery. So Philly Thrive and residents united across South Philadelphia and across the city won the permanent closure of the East Coast's largest and oldest oil refinery. And this refinery has affected generations of South and Southwest Philly residents, causing death and loss. And so the win was winning an end to that pollution in our neighborhoods, and the possibility for something better. Celebration is just a vital part of organizing and is something that can be left behind. Sometimes it's hard to slow down and really take the time to let these wins into our bodies, and to celebrate them in community. And when I hear the Victory is Ours award, that's what we've been saying, you know. The residents won this victory. Forces of the status quo, so whether it's elected officials or corporations, often want to take these victories away from the folks who actually won them, from poor and working class Black residents, and act like they just sort of happened or arrived. And so I guess to me that's a really key part of the Victory is Ours award, is just continuing to say again and again, we won this, and here's how we won this. We won the closure of the refinery through uniting residents across race and class and neighborhood, and running clear, pointed campaigns that removed support for the fossil fuel industry and built support for resident-led decision making and for environmental justice.
Community care and mutual aid means to me that we respect members of the community and partner with them, but taking their lead in understanding what their needs are and how we can work with them to reach those goals.
I think it's like the community coming together to figure out how they can support each other and really sort of like building their muscle and their power together, and not necessarily looking to solutions that aren't within the community and the members of the communities.
I think it's really important that we recognize the legacy that Dowdy has, which emanates from the leadership of Judy Bardis early on, and then is continued with Jen Leaf. The legacy of the Dowdy Foundation is affirming communities to determine what is best for them and what their needs are.
Supporting grassroots organizations that are creating positive social change in their communities, that's always been the focus of the Dowdy Foundation, and I think anyone who's a part of the foundation is quite proud that we never deviated from that mission, and how that has sort of manifested itself over the years has not changed. We always stuck with, the seed funding grassroots organizations that are trying new things in their community, that are led by people in the community, that their boards and staff are by and large community folks. But we stuck with that through the 50 plus years that we were in operation, and I think we all feel really confident that that legacy will live on through the Bread and Roses Community Fund because of that mission.